at creating regular billing. And there's a lot of things that don't always get added to the Agile process where are you surveying the users? Are you getting feedback from the users? And are you using that feedback to drive the direction of the product? You leave that off, you're just doing waterfall with more steps. And it's consulting companies love Agile because I write a line of code, there's a bug in it, I have something to do tomorrow to keep billing, even if the client doesn't have any idea whether or not it's the right thing to do, if they're not paying attention to it. You can kind of come back and you can just do that infinite hamster wheel of development. It's great. If they have feedback, you can incorporate it, but that's not always required. And when you set up a consulting engagement, you want it to survive on its own, even if the client gets distracted or if your leadership is not there and paying attention. Nielsen Norman called Agile is development without direction. You don't have, it's a process that's fit to survive a lack of good direction. It can just keep development, which is horrible for user experience because it's that user feedback, fail fast, learn fast, adjust your pathway. And if you're not doing that, you're missing the whole point of Agile. So sorry, another soapbox. No, I will fight you on this one.
Again, I think we need to have a conversation. You clearly need some alcohol and we can have an discussion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We are from different worlds, but we were part of the same organization.
Yeah.
I'm confuzzled.
Well, yeah, big organizations, 34 different development teams, 10 architects. You hear about some of these where, oh yeah, the main leader on this went on extended vacation or disability, so, or we can't roll this out. This is a multi-phase project. We're doing it long-term. We're still sprinting, but it's not going to be released to the client for a year and a half. What's that?
I said, what about your management consultants? They're the ones to tell you what to do.
Those are different phases in Accenture. You have to know that. You come in and do discovery phases, you do your planning, and then it's the execution part. Well, but it's the little pictures is where you lose your way. The big picture was great. We're going to get there. How long you do it and how accurate that is and whether that takes advantage of Agile iterations, totally different thing. So why call it Agile if you're not actually iterating it?
Let's be honest.
Well, all right, everybody can see screen. We will go through the quick stuff. I'm enjoying the banter. You have to come every time now.
Well, y'all need to tell me where to park because I park like somewhere.
There's a Google map. I have a Google Maps to the
in my same AT&T, it was telling me to go around and around and asking every UTD student. They were like, "What?"
Yeah. So, UTD directions you can only get here asymptotically.
Yeah, thank you.
I looked up this building you brought me.
Literally 10 steps from the door, I asked where the TI auditorium was. Both students said, no idea. Yeah, so I was like, okay.
I love the people who have the guts to call me after the meeting is starting, asking where it is. I had that phone call at 6:05. It's like, you know, I'm running a meeting, right? I can't give you directions now. So fortunately, it was our 6 to 6:30, and I can walk out and wave everybody. And I forgot to do my sign. Apparently, I've got the building labeled wrong, so it's good feedback. You guys know who I am. I think you know who Moyez is. I've been running the group for 4 years now, I think. Since Dakota. Thank you. This is the best job ever. I figure out stuff I want to learn, and I go find people to teach me, and I get to share it with everybody else at the same time. I am always looking for ideas of stuff you want to learn that I can go hunt down and bring to these meetings. So please let me know. I'd love to nominate and popularize anybody who wants to regularly bring in something on these specific topics that are kind of developer skewed. Nathan Schulman hopefully is here. Let me see if he's on the chat yet. I lost my windows. I don't love Zoom all the time. Now there's Renee.
Hey, Paul, when you get a minute, can you promote me again? I dropped and I had to come back in.
Oh, you created as a webinar?
What's that?
Did you create this meeting as a webinar?
Yeah, I use it so much, I went ahead and got the webinar license. I will probably back that down at some point. It's too expensive and it's not something Salesforce reimburses when they have their virtual thing. But anyway, I'm always looking for people that want to play a regular role in getting content to this group and helping steer it there, finding, not necessarily, actually mostly not speaking on the content. I hate being the speaker. I am always trying to get smarter people than me to come in here to make good connections for you. You guys know me, you can have access to me anytime. Sometimes I know cool stuff. Most of the time I'm trying to bring smarter people here and make connections for you. We work with the UTD student group to try and help make those connections and turn that into professional networking. We have to start that up again now that you're back. Sorry, I have been bad getting back to you on getting that started. But if any of these topics speak to you, please let me know, and I'd love to have your participation and driving content here. It's a fair amount of work to try and get content every month and get things put up and have them socialized and so forth. Annie, a question?
Yeah, I would recommend putting App Exchange as a separate line item because obviously ISV is distinctly different than core development.
App Exchange, these are up here because I had somebody that was doing this for a while. So these are flexible.
Okay.
So if you've got ideas like flows, my name's down there because I'm crazy about flows. I'm also crazy about platform events. But having my name on every single possible topic for dev group, probably not great. If you've got a topic and you want to drive content here and it's a good idea, growing flowers, watercolors, karate, probably not going to be a good fit for a developer architect group that this is. You got something that's developer architect that you're passionate about bringing news stories or helping drive learning on it, come see me. I'd love to put your name up here and have you be a part of the group.
Yeah, it looks good on your resume.
Yeah, and I don't have a cute Twitter thing for us again. I have been falling down on my job of having cute postings. We did have some Einstein stuff out there, news updates and announcement. There is a new We Dream and spinoff happening in Oklahoma on October 23rd. I don't have a slide. Last group, if you were here when we were at the tower last month, Ryan Hogue is one of the main organizers of that. And we are bringing all of the We Dream and resources and scars, battle scars and stuff that we learned to try and help build that up. So that's looking to be exciting. It's one day. It's in Oklahoma. It's still fairly cheap, but it's only one room, one track, but it's part of a bigger conference that I think, just like We Dreamin', you're not going to be locked out of the other sessions. You just might not get priority seating if you try to go if you've got a We Dreamin' Oklahoma badge and you try to go to one of the security sessions, and if it's standing room only, they might pluck you out and make you stand in the back. That's probably the only thing that'll happen, but that's up and coming. We have a new user group starting up in Fort Worth, depending on do you have dates? Have you figured anything out yet?
No, they haven't officialized it, but the next step was make my trailhead profile public. So
Okay.
I'm not going to hear back.
Cool. So we have a new user group leader. So excited for
Everybody knows who she
Samantha.
is.
Yeah, that's Samantha Bartlett.
Hey guys.
So I don't know how far you guys drive to get here, but there's some other options now. And so I got to bolster the Ohana in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm excited to have another user group leader joining the ranks. What was the other thing? We Dream in Oklahoma, the Moyes Minute. I do not see Moyes here. So we probably won't have a Moyes Minute tonight.
Did you want to shout out Joyce?
What's that?
Joyce and her new book.
Oh yeah, Joyce Avila published a new book on Data Cloud through the O'Reilly platform. I think I have signs for her Snowflake book still here, but she's now got a Data Cloud one also.
And that's, I'm forgetting either the 5th or the 14th. And she's a We Dreaming alum speaker. So I don't know if she's at the Oklahoma event as well. And then Snowflake community group is tomorrow in downtown. And I she's gonna be presently there.
Yep.
so.
The fellow O'Reilly author, she was here when I got to announce my book, so it was great. She was so, and yeah, and we partnered. We did the Salesforce Snowflake user group at the Tower event. That was immensely successful. So yeah, no, Joyce is great people. I should have put a slide together to show her book out there. I can't wait. I was expecting to get a signed copy, but I keep getting sent to the Amazon link. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll have some, but I do have some Snowflake books I can give away next time. I'll just remember to bring those. All right. So I have slides from the developer AMA, and I will, if you end up looking at your phone, I would go look at your phone to find the Salesforce developers LinkedIn entity and look for the Salesforce developer AMA. Every month, it's like a mini TDX, basically. They have high-level engineers talking about very deep topics. You don't have to be a developer to understand the new capabilities that they're rolling out. We've had, and it turned out one of the guys had actually presented here at our user group about a year ago about platform events. He recognized me whenever I was on the call. Having given the presentation, I seek out the nerdiest nerds within Salesforce. And so I'm usually excited to get to connect to people that have really deep understanding, and you can kind of dig into the topics. And they have those people. They're like true to the core people. True to the core, I think, is probably the best exposure to deep, knowledgeable architects that are actually building the future of Salesforce. That my favorite interaction was my first Dreamforce session. I did a lot of, I'm a JavaScript developer. I love JavaScript when I'm coding. Have written that for many, many years. I was going to do a JavaScript session at Dreamforce. It said, great. It's an Aura, right? I'm like, what's Aura? Aura is this JavaScript framework that we use. It's the Lightning component. Oh, I just write mine straight in regular JavaScript. I just put JavaScript on a visual first page and it works. Well, we're really pushing the Aura framework this year. So I'd already gotten the session approved. Dreamforce was approaching. I had to go learn the Aura framework in a month and rewrite my whole really fancy JavaScript thing in a month. And then the next year, they announced Lightning Web Components, a new JavaScript framework. And okay, wait, I just jumped through a lot of hoops, spent a lot of time learning how to do this one. What's that one? And then the year after that, they mentioned that Aura was going away. Like, why did I spend a month learning this framework in a rush and you're deprecating it 2 years later? There were people that knew that. One of the great things about Accenture is pretty early on in Accenture, I learned about Lightning Web Components was coming out. You don't work in an Accenture, you don't have a friend inside the Salesforce ecosystem, you don't know that you're wasting time learning something that's about to go away. The true to the core team is where they will tell you that kind of stuff. And you can go ask. I asked, hey, is LWC going away for another framework? No, LWC is here to stay. We are locked in on that. That's expandable, it's scalable, and we're actually enhancing that with a lot of, and that's been true. That's the only place I've been able to find. I treat my time and my skills like an investment. I spend time on things that are going to pay dividends long term, learning stuff that they're going to decommission. That makes me cranky. So
Is it Aura still here?
it's still around, but they're not doing any further developments on it.
Okay, because I know push notifications to console is only on Aura and not on LWC.
There's a whole lot of things that are only on Aura still.
That was a enhancement like in the last year.
Okay. It is not the preferred pathway for doing custom development, but because of some of the ways that the framework works, some of the stuff that works in Aura, Aura doesn't have the same lockdown. When you write an Aura component, you can see and talk to the entire DOM model on the page. You can have your Aura component go scrape data from the customer web page and phone it back home to whoever provided you the Aura component. Lightning Web Components have that containerization and they obscure the actual DOM. So you can't go out and interrogate the DOM and get that information. They randomize the DOM element names. So you can guess, but it would be pretty heavy hit and you probably detect it. So there's a handful of things. Yes, sir.
Aura will be deprecated fully in the coming years?
They haven't announced, like, just like profiles, they had an end date for profiles and then they removed the end date. They're not talking about deprecating Aura. They're just pushing everybody strongly at LWC. There won't be any Aura sessions at Dreamforce this year. I will bet you money on that one. But there's a handful of things that you can PDF generation still works best in Visualforce. Yeah, and they don't want people doing Visualforce stuff. You put a session in Dreamforce for Visualforce, won't be accepted. So it's the direction, and you just have to kind of read the tea leaves that there's going to be less and less support for the things that they're not pushing, unless they're just trying to sell something. Sometimes if they're selling a new product, if it doesn't succeed, then they'll deprecate it. You have to tell the difference between the new and the on the golden path. And I couldn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
There are still a lot of differences on Aura. For example, like experience cloud landing, which cannot be done.
Yeah, no, there's still a bunch of things. Aura is a much more forgiving, insecure framework where you can make stuff happen that you can't make happen in LWC, or they haven't written all of those connectors. But yeah, so there's still stuff. There's a handful of things that you can only get to in classic mode of setup. What is it, Salesforce to Salesforce? There's a replication service. You can't configure it. You can't find it in setup until you switch to classic mode and then go find it. That tells me that's not a supported product. They're not even bothering to put that in the Lightning version of setup. That's not a healthy thing.
Much handy, the classic mode of setup, much handy than the Lightning.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that works better still. You just have to, you learn eventually which ones those are. Which is a funny segue. There is a new replication technology that was announced on the AMA today that sounds, it's only for data cloud right now, currently. It's an offshoot of CDC, and it's, what did they call it? I've got a slide for it. We'll go into it at the end whenever we start broader discussion. Remind me to pull that up. Jade, are you ready to start up our Einstein?
Can you promote me again with permissions?
You should have permission. I think I just have to stop sharing so that you can. You should be covered.
I actually, yeah, I dropped and I had to rejoin.
Okay, then let me fix that. Oh, hey, there's Nathan. Yeah, I thought that was the case too, Mary, on not being able to create new process builders. True to the Core has, they have webinars every once in a while, and it's hard to kind of catch them.
Can you read out her question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, somebody was asking about like the path for the process builders being less preferred than flows. We knew that process builders were going to be deprecated at some point. They eventually, when they finally announced the name, announced the date, then everybody knew for sure, and then they backed off the date and then moved the date. And like I said, I think that date is already, is it 12? Okay, it looks like it's 12/31/2025 is what JK's. But yeah, we got discouraged first. Then they said, don't do it anymore. Then it was read only. Can't create new workflows, can't create new process builders. So they just do that in stages when they're about to shut something down. They've been trying to shut down Visualforce forever, and it's too core. It's not going anywhere. They've pushed people away from it, but asking it true to core, yeah, no, there's no shutdown date in sight for Visualforce. They have said we're not doing any new enhancements to it, but it's too ingrained in everything that that they have out there for them to, I think, that's my opinion from the inside.
Just to give context.
Well, haven't they also been saying that they're going to get rid of Salesforce Classic for years? Yeah, exactly. Well, and then somebody said, oh no, about 50% of businesses are still in Classic. So it's like, oh snap. And it probably includes a lot of nonprofits. So.
Yeah.
Well, if they bring lightning to parity with Classic, we wouldn't have this issue, would we? But I wanted to give context to one of the things Paul was mentioning about his experience about getting kind of a heads up. When you join a partner, the partner enablement team at Salesforce does a great job in informing their partners as to here's what's going to be big, here's our big investment areas, go learn. Here are some training materials, here are classes that we will encourage you guys to take so that y'all can also go out and help us enable, sell this features, And same with the deprecation. They give us a warning so that you don't go build these things only for Salesforce to take it away eventually.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be looking for a role, being a partner, you would get exposed to some of those things ahead of time.
Yeah, no, that is one of the benefits of getting in. But if you're working for a smaller company and you don't have a dedicated AE that has connections to all of these teams, your best bet is to stay plugged into True to the Core and these developer AMAs and other stuff like that. So you can find out, hey, that thing, I'm the Salesforce administrator. They built everything 5 years ago. They didn't know that Aura was going, process builders were going away. They've still got a ton of process builders. What do? I'm not a process builder developer. I'm not whatever old version of this. And sometimes those deadlines sneak up on you. All right, Jade. I think the first couple of slides are mine, and hopefully they're at least only one of them's not filled out. So no pressure. Deadline was now.
Okay, so let me just kick it off, Paul. So this is going to be our Dreamforce presentation. So you guys are getting a preview. I'm going to paste a link in the chat of our session. If you're going to Dreamforce, please make sure you catch us at the campfire on Wednesday. So I think we should just get started. So today we are going to be talking about demystifying 6 Einstein features. But before we do the talk, before anything else, we always have this slide of the forward-looking statement. So please make all purchasing decisions based on what's currently available today. So I think most of you know Paul. I don't know, Paul, does everyone know you? No, there was a new person here today, right? Did you want to just do a quick intro?
Yep, handful of new people here today. Jade and I haven't actually technically met. Hopefully we will meet at Dreamforce when we're getting doing this session together. So we've been connected virtually for several years now, and we will finally meet in person at Dreamforce to present.
Yeah, and truth be told, the only reason why I connected with Paul is because I heard he played volleyball. So that was the only reason initially that I connected with him.
I think I saw your Twitter handle and I was like, DB, is that volleyball? I'm like, yeah, and that's where that started.
Yeah. So do you want to do a quick intro first, Paul, and I'll follow up?
No, I mean, you don't need to know about me. Jade's great. Everybody can talk to me later. I do architecture. I've been breaking computers since I was in the 2nd grade in 1978. If there's a language out there, I've written Hello World in it. So I think except for TensorFlow and Erlang, and those are on my list. So
accidentally affected last month by 14% layoff. So now I'm just gonna kick it over to you, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had a hiccup there for a second, Jade. All right, so yeah, Einstein, the big picture. I'm still trying to figure this out. I can't tell whether I've got the circles in the right place or not. I'm not sure whether they are changing the nomenclature for the entire platform that everything is Einstein now, or if the Einstein platform is just everything related to AI. If you've been in Salesforce for a while, Lightning, the word application, and Einstein are used all over the place. They're just overused in branding terms that they use. So Lightning could mean everything. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think because you already have Einstein, then you have Einstein around Einstein. I think if you're combining the rabbit, the wizard, the genie, and Einstein, the new mascot should be Gandalf.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And Genie's going away, or is gone, allegedly. Genie's retired.
They're retiring the mascot?
Yes.
Okay. So, but like the data cloud stuff. So this is my label here on this slide from this screen grab. And they kept showing, when they showed this, they call this the Einstein platform, and it includes everything under the sun with Salesforce half the time they talk about it. So I don't know if the Lightning platform, the bigger picture, the whole sales, the Benioff ecosystem is now the Einstein ecosystem. I think I might have just been reading that slide wrong. I think it is probably just going to be referring to the combination of all the generative AI features. So I will try and get more information into that. We're still trying to figure out the messaging on it to get that right. Because there's 15, there's Einstein Analytics. That's not generative AI. There's Einstein stuff that you can attach to Data Cloud that's different than the generative AIs. There's the summary stuff, and there's the response stuff, and the conversation stuff. Those are all different flavors of AI, what we're calling AI in the industry now.
Can't Danielle help you out with the latest graphics?
If she were not on bereavement leave, yes. So, yeah. And she is the hardest, she is one of the most sought after resources right now with Data Cloud being so hot. Yeah, she has told me, hey, I am sorry, Paul, but can't help you. I can't, she probably answer questions. I've got another couple of connections. I just haven't tried to tap them yet. And I figure I've got a couple of days with a couple of people that I can get this slide figured out and have it there. So just letting you know, I'm confused about the terminology. There may be some more confusion, and they may change it by the time we get to Dreamforce. They may change it again when we are at Dreamforce. I think we've got the humorous anecdote actually on our notes that I'm telling that joke again. So if you come to Dreamforce and watch it, make sure you laugh like you haven't heard it.
Don't you also have to practice this in front of someone at Salesforce marketing?
Not yet. This year, they didn't make us do it.
Oh, because I was.
And this is a community campground session. They may have different rules for it. Jade and I keep asking about that. When's our dry run? When's our this? Well, all of this stuff, I presented at Dreamforce like 5 times now. This is my first community campfire session, and we're still trying to figure out what the rules are. Yeah. So they may not care what we say, but I have a feeling, yeah. So anyway, this messaging is coming out. Watch for the fact that they're leaning into the Einstein branding for a lot of things, and they may be pulling the Einstein branding from, it used to be Wave Analytics, then it was Einstein Analytics, and it was Tableau's Einstein Wave, it's gone everywhere.
Analytics.
Yeah. So that is going to be the big picture. Copilot, all of the new AI features are going to kind of live under the Einstein brand. And they will call that probably the Einstein One platform. That may not include Einstein Analytics, or they probably have moved on from that naming, but where they use their cool, expensive brands is going to change. This is one of them. All right, Jade. If you've been awake and on the internet with or watching anything from Salesforce, this has been TDX, this will be Keynote. AI got really popular really fast for being very good at giving interesting new results. And then when it got drunk and got off of topic, it was also really fun to make fun of. So everybody got a hard dose of fear about AI shortly after it hit the news. And so the damage control that everybody that does with AI, they put a bunch of frameworks around AI to make sure that you're using the right training and you are getting a good answer, and the answer isn't way off topic, and the answer isn't starting a toxic exchange with people. No, you're stupid because you don't, all of that stuff, you give it training, you point it at the internet, there's everything on the internet. If you don't give it that right grounding, if you don't only look at the data somebody is supposed to see before you build up what your generative AI is, you can give them bad information. Generative AI is a search engine that goes out and finds the answers for you and tells it to you like it's a person. It's got a whole new believability layer that you have to deal with and properly insulate. So there's steps for that layer. And yes, Jade, whenever we have less time, I'll have to go through this faster. You ask a question, you make sure it's only, the answers are only coming from the right place. You try to filter out and ground it in information that's going to be close to the answer. If I say, hey, what's Prince's latest album? I don't want to know about Prince Harry. The word album should target me at the singer Prince and not at anybody else named Prince. It should only be Prince musicians. So that dynamic grounding, it's going to try and figure out what the whole point is and not just answer everything for some keywords. If you have Prince's home phone number, which would be hard right now, you'd want to mask that out. You want to filter out, I may have access to that, but I don't need that showing up in every single prompt. There's some other stuff. I don't understand data masking to great detail. I don't understand a whole lot on the secure gateway. I think that's keeping people from being able to bypass any of the layers. Zero retention, those answers don't stay anywhere to be searched. You can't go and filter and have a prompt of a prompt. I get your prompt, or I can go read the answer that you got, which would be different from mine if you don't securely keep all of that cache layer there. Then you actually get the answer generated back from it. And then you want to make sure, okay, are they calling me stupid? Are you saying there've been like fist fights type, AI will go off the rails and try to have a real conversation with you. And you have to pick up whether it accidentally got a hold of a chat and trained it and thought it was supposed to tell you to go fly a kite. So you have to put warning filters in there for toxicity detection and, hey, this isn't the voice we want you to have with our customers. This is a chat bot. Even if they're angry, you don't go angry back just because you found a reference to when somebody said this thing angry, the next thing that was usually said after that thing was this angry thing. You have to filter those out. That's how GPT works. It is trying to find the best pattern of question and answers that exists out there, the Chinese room theory from AI. You get input in, you don't have to understand it, you just give input out. AI is actually kind of still dumb. So you filter out toxicity, and then you keep an audit trail so you can come back and make sure you know what happened and what you people got there. So this has been the new vocabulary for the Einstein trust layer. This is AI, the chat GPT. It's data and generating an answer. That's what OpenAI, ChatGPT, all of those, they're pointed at different data that they can be trained on. Building different large language models together, building your own is its own task. But these are all of the steps that make sure that you're not saying the wrong things with your bot that you hired to do the work of a person and try and seem like a person. So those are your new vocabulary words as you're getting into Einstein and AI. So boy, that was a long way to get through the gimmick of the next couple of slides, Jade. I'm sorry. I will trim that down.
You were talking about the data masking piece. So essentially Salesforce is not going to use anything to respond using personal identifiable information. So that's why it's stripped to essentially be trusted. So that's what all that means.
Okay.
So to your point, your example, Prince's phone number, that's maybe not Prince, but maybe a non-public individual,
right.
That information would not be required in order to produce the response.
Okay.
And then they re-add it back in.
Cool. Yeah, I will have to percolate on that, because if I'm asking a question and it's my personal information coming back, maybe it's somebody else's personal information I was asking for and it knows to mask that. I guess it would depend on the application. I'm still trying to think through. AI, to me, I'm glad I didn't record this, is still gimmicky. I think AI is going to be a nice add-on. I don't think it is the new gold rush. It'll be a good tool to be, but nobody's going to start an AI company, a new AI company, and have it make money because they are AI. It has to add value to something that has some kind of financial benefit. And I think AI will tick things up, but I don't see it as being kind of a new gold mine. Yeah.
Well, so like, at a company I worked for, we didn't have the AI through Salesforce with Copilot. I don't know if it's data masking where it has access to the data and then it understands I'm never going to show this data to the person who sent the prompt. So it might be what the data
Okay.
masking might be.
Yeah, I thought that would be, maybe secure data retrieval is what I'm thinking of not giving data that you're not supposed to have access to. Maybe you have access to it, but we can't give it back to you.
It's like we pull it, we ground it, and then we're like, oh, we can't show you this, so we're never going to show it to you, even though you asked for it, or ask for something that might pull it.
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
yes.
Okay, well, so all of this 101 was really just the slide bullet template that I wanted to use for each of the topics that we're going to discuss for demystifying Einstein features. Was whatever the topic is, that's our prompt. And the grounding is the definition of what we're talking about, when there might be misconceptions, what not to use it for, what you can use it for, and where you go to learn more. So we're going to speak in Einstein for these slides. And I've got that sounded a lot clearer and quicker in my head. So hopefully there won't be that conversation. Everybody will have heard this 800 times.
Audit trail, you said that where to learn more, but my understanding is that from where it got the data. So it provides
Yeah.
you that, okay, this conclusion came from.
Yes, I'm taking a whole lot of creative license. Just this is the format the rest of the slides will be in. So I just wanted to make it cute and use AI terms in our AI slides.
So we like audit seems to be like next best action.
You what?
Based on the data, it is going to show what is the next question you interested or next best action. What
No,
you
it's
get to know
going to
more details about it.
I came up with this answer, and here is my sources. That's what
It maps
That's
the
how you
sources of
audit.
where it got the data from. Perplexity is a new AI search tool that it will give you the answer, and it will also print every source that it compiled the answer from for you. So you can go, this is a good source, this is a good source, this is a trusted, this is private information nobody should have, I can't talk about it. And this is some disinformation site, I can't trust this answer. I need to, okay, generate the answer again, but don't use that thing that you used in the first one.
Like metadata, which is like data about the data.
Yeah, metadata, okay. So hopefully everybody online can hear that. I'm playing musical microphones so that we can get those questions out there, but it's just clarifications on what Audit Trail really was. So quickly, Commerce Einstein is part of Commerce Cloud. So it is Einstein platform connected to be able to do some functions inside of Commerce Cloud. It's basically 3 features. Now they're kind of selling this as branding this as if it's a package. You get the Commerce Einstein package. It will enhance search. So your search results will come back summarized instead of looking like Google results or just simple word matches. You'll get summaries and a little bit better search result, better search result. Suggestions as it's trying to pick up patterns on what you're looking for. It will try and suggest things to you based on what you've been searching for, what you've been looking for, pages you've been on. It'll get those together, summarize them, and try and, hey, everybody else that was looking for the same things you were looking for actually ended up buying this. They were trying to get here. Green screws, green screwdrivers. You keep searching for screws. I think you actually meant screwdrivers, whatever. My work, screws and green screws are a very common sample, and I can't get it out of my head when I'm getting examples anymore. And then audit trails to check where people are going through, how it's getting the information, and being able to put those together. So that's what Commerce Einstein. Einstein Service Agent. So this is, I'm glad I'm not recording. I think some of this is NDA information that I got an accidental sneak preview to. Generated AI enhanced automated support agents. So chatbots with AI. Yes.
We should be good because they posted some things about this already on the schedule for Dreamforce.
So the part that I'm going to get to in a second is the one that may be a little bit leaked.
Okay.
It's an add-on to it. So
Avert your eyes, everybody.
what's that?
I said avert your eyes, everybody.
Yeah, just don't quote me. Or at least don't put my name when you quote it. But anyway, it's just a hint. It is a rumor that I think I got privy to that these will be there'll be some new power. So with Einstein Service Agents, training a chatbot is setting up all of these pathways of this conversation went here, and if it went here from there, then it should go here. If they said this, then do that. There's apparently a ton of training that goes on with chatbots. With the service agents, instead of having a 6-month setup project, if you have an existing a set of KB articles or a website, you point the training bots, the Einstein service agents, at the knowledge base, and it builds its own large language model, whatever, to build answers, and your setup time and time to market is much faster. Yes.
I do want to call this out though. One of the training inputs is applying those knowledge articles to cases. So it's not just purely the knowledge articles. If you don't actually attach it to cases, it then can't ascertain the relevancy and the success of the output or input of the knowledge article. So just FYI, if your service agents are anything like the service agents I've interacted and they don't attach to damn knowledge articles, you can't use this.
Yeah. So cases would be another source besides a knowledge base that you could point it to coalesce the information.
Correct.
The off-the-cuff comment that I heard, if I'm having a phone call with somebody and and I don't ever write a knowledge base article down, if there's a transcription of that phone call, that can be part of one of your knowledge sources. So that live transcribe turns into a pathway, turns into troubleshooting. That's big. I don't have a knowledge base. I'm just going to answer a couple of calls. All of a sudden, I've got a trained Einstein service agent that has built up its own knowledge repository just from existing calls. And so as you talk, as you solve more things on the phone, you solve more things automated through an Einstein service agent. I don't know if, when, how that's going to be released.
You are correct. That's assuming that you use the AWS white labeling on Salesforce Voice, because it does that auto transcripting, and then you can use that to then train your models.
Okay, I think they're pulling that into not just an AWS feature, but actually making it part of it. That's kind of the feel I got, that may be the variation. But yeah, the fact that if it's already available,
sell that, right?
Yeah,
that was one of their selling points was, hey, you get this auto magically, and you can train your thingy because you use our product.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, they may just be rebranding it, and that's the news that it's secret that I maybe have. Yeah. So that's cool. Okay. So confirmed. Yes, sir.
That was really fascinating, like what you just said about Einstein service agent would directly pick up from a voice call, and then from transcript it would almost you can get knowledge. But my question is, like, would it create a knowledge article, or it would just stay within itself to provide the access?
I did not hear anything about it creating a knowledge article, but just saving the text in order to be parsed.
I want to say in that response, it does. I think you could build an action to create a knowledge article. I think, if I remember what the sales engineer showed me.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be very natural to summarize it and then put it to use an AI summary and put it in there.
That's the case, that you can go ahead and create it as a knowledge article.
Okay.
But it doesn't automatically create it. It doesn't make any assumptions.
Yeah, it just gives you an option to just
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that was my favorite. And is the next slide mine or yours, Jade?
Just let you know, this is being recorded, Paul.
What's that?
This session is actually being recorded. You had mentioned twice now that, oh yeah, this isn't recorded. It is.
Oh, it is. Okay. Well, I think that recording is going to get lost. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Paul, for demystifying some of the Einstein features. So now it's my turn to demystify some. So what is Prompt Builder? you guys have heard of Prompt Builder already, but it's the newest thing, and it's just not in Salesforce. It's in all of the AI stuff. So in Salesforce, what Prompt Builder means is it's a tool that allows you to create, test, revise, customize, and manage prompt templates that integrate generative AI into your workflows. So it supercharges your Salesforce Gen AI. And you can also put guardrails around which objects you want it to do it for. So one of the hallucinations using Gen AI terms is it is different than Einstein Copilot. So there's Prompt Builder, and then there's Einstein Copilot, which we're going to get into in the next slide. Here's where you can find out more. So here's what a Prompt Builder template looks like. So there are, as of now, that could change by the time we get to Dreamforce, but there are 3 prompt templates: sales email prompts for drafting personalized emails. There is field generation prompts for generating summaries or descriptions. So that's what this example shows. And there's also a third one that's newer called flex prompts, and that's for unique business cases. If you want, I can show you a video of something I created at the end of this presentation, if we have time.
Okay.
So the next one I want to demystify is Copilot. What is Copilot? You might have heard this already, and it's unfortunate that so many things are named Copilot. For example, Microsoft has a Copilot. It's very different from Salesforce's Copilot. So let me tell you what Salesforce Copilot is. It's a conversational AI assistant embedded in your Salesforce org. It usually shows up in the panel on the right. It is not a magical solution. It still needs to be monitored. It requires good data and setup. So here's where you can learn more on the trailhead, but here's what it looks like. So if you have your sales app open, there is a little Einstein icon at the top, and if you click it, the right-hand panel opens up. So this is the conversational AI, and it helps you with all your deals or whatever you're trying to use it for. But basically, it's your newfound buddy. So the last thing I want to talk about is the Einstein One Studio. I know, everything is named Einstein. We get it. So this is a set of low-code tools designed to help admins, developers build and customize and embed AI across Salesforce apps. What it will not do is it will not replace human jobs. Nothing will replace human jobs right now. It just helps and augments our tasks for now. So let me show you what Einstein One Studio really means. It is a set of these 3 things: the Copilot Builder, Prompt Builder, and Model Builder. So in one of the previous slides, I showed you Copilot, but if you didn't like what that offered, you can customize it. So Einstein One Studio offers these 3 things where you can actually customize it and build it however you want. And here's an example. If you wanted to customize Copilot, there's a Copilot Builder, and here's all the things that you can do with it. And here's how you can preview and test it. There's a problem right now where I had to log a Salesforce case because the Einstein org that I spun up was having problems. So I couldn't get into it. But here's a screenshot of what something would look like if you were to customize it. And basically that is all that we have for our presentation. How much time do we have, Paul? Should I demo what I created?
Yeah, please, let's go through that demo. I've got some slides up, some screen grabs from the developer AMA that I can fill in the blanks with. But
Okay.
yeah, you've got the demo handy, or the video. I don't know how well this is going to work with Zoom video without me knowing exactly where the button is for true audio. So let's go.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I wasn't gonna do the audio. I was just going to pause it and walk people through.
Oh, cool.
So this is me with it's kind of small, but I'll just tell you what's in it. It is a spreadsheet with data related to Marvel superhero characters. It's kind of small, but I'll just tell you, like on the left hand here, it's all the superhero character names, their gender, eye color, race. So it's a huge spreadsheet with like a million different attributes. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to import this data into Salesforce and then create a prompt template for it. So here's all the things they have. Do they have agility? Do they have stealth, flight? All this stuff. So let me show you. Let me advance this video a little so I can show you what I actually did with it. So what I wanted to show you is if I am on this character, Black Panther, as an example, I want a quick summary of all the strength and ability and all the superhero powers. So what happens before we had this wonderful tool called AI was you may have had check boxes, pick lists, all kinds of attributes on your page, right? And if you wanted to summarize, you would have to create a report, maybe a dashboard, like I don't know how many attributes there were, but let's just say there are 100. So you have like 100 of these check boxes, drop down lists, like it is crazy. But if you had Prompt Builder, what you could do pretty quickly is just say, hey, give me a quick summary of Black Panther. And what it does here is it will tell you, I don't know if you can see this, but it basically says Black Panther is a Marvel character classified as a good superhero. It has his height, his weight, his power score, all this stuff. So that was pretty neat. So Black Panther, in this example, I only have agility checked. But if I go to another superhero, I have to advance this video. Oh, this is Thanos. Some people call him evil. I don't know. But anyways, he has a lot of these characteristics checked. So if I do a quick summary on this character, here's what it would look like. It will show you a lot more. And here is what it says about Thanos. It's classified as a villain. So it did classify him as a villain. It has a total score. So all of the attributes here, instead of running a report, it's a little quick summary here. And it's not going to show you all the check boxes or the attributes that were not checked or were not populated. It only gathers the one that are checked true. So that was my little handy dandy example of how to use Prompt Builder. Any questions there?
Yeah. And I'm on team
Okay.
Thanos did nothing wrong.
So I have one more thing to show, unless you want to go, Paul.
No, it's good. I wanted to try and close by 7:45 today, if that's okay. So we've still got 20 minutes.
Okay, let me show this other thing that is kind of sort of hot off the press. Let me get this to this screen here. I don't know if you can see this guy here. Okay, so I'm not going to play this. This was a session that was done by Salesforce earlier. I think it was last week or maybe it was the week before. But anyways, here are some of the features. This you probably definitely can't see, but I just wanted to point out that there are features coming fast and furious. So this is related to Einstein Copilot for Sales and the actions that are coming out. So all the ones that you see in this list that are yellow and starred are the ones that are GA. All the other ones are coming. There's so many. So this one is only focused on sales. So let me show you some of the neat features that they talked about. So this one is called Send Meeting Request. So you can have Einstein schedule your meeting. So in the good old days where there was high velocity sales, which I think is called sales engagement now, or I don't know the new name, but anyways, it will do all this for you pretty quickly. So because it grounds your contact data, lead and opportunity, and account data. So it also grabs your time and availability. So it generates all this for you pretty quickly instead of you swivel chairing to all of your different things to write the email. It just does it right here. Copilot will just do it. That is pretty amazing. So that was the first feature. The second feature is your to-do list, like review my day. So you usually have a lot of things going on with, tasks and opportunities and whatever else you have going on. So this will just summarize and prioritize things that need your attention. So that's what this Einstein Copilot does here. And then this one is extremely helpful. It finds similar opportunities. So you are trying to close this deal. It will look at past opportunities with, similar products, similar opportunities, and try to unblock you. So this is pretty neat because it finds, in this example, there were like 5 similar opportunities. So you can take a look at that. Let's see. And I think this is my favorite of all time. So this is get product pricing based on historical context. So it can get the pricing, the min, the max, the average, instead of you, running reports, asking different department, it just sums it all up here. So you can be on the call and get the pricing for them instead of having to circle back with them and having them wait. So I really like this feature, and I think that was it. I had asked if I could use this license slide. Salesforce said no because this is changing, so we couldn't use it. But at the time this video was made by Salesforce, they were saying there is the Einstein 1 sales license. Usually I've only worked with a limited, so I haven't worked with this new licensed tier, but all that is available here. So if you have enterprise or unlimited edition, Einstein Copilot is for an additional price. So that is all I have.
Yeah, so the inclusion of Slack, Data Cloud, and those other things are what makes me think the Einstein 1 platform is everything now, and they're packaging it as a license type that includes it's the everything on the menu license.
I wonder why they like to add one to everything. Remember when they did the mobile app? It was Salesforce 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so Einstein 1. Yeah, I think 99 cents sells better than $1. 1 sells better. Xbox One, it's just for something reason it resonates with us, the term, and just
See,
reused
like
and abused.
Einstein 2, then it raises all these questions.
Wait,
What happened here? I
Right.
would like to learn more.
yeah, there's almost never a 2.
Well, like, those would be relevant if you only had Data Cloud, right? Like you had Einstein 1 sales, you might want sales planning, but you might not even have Data Cloud.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like Data Cloud is included.
But
So
you
they're,
get that.
yeah, they're including Data Cloud in a lot of things to try and get people hooked on it as a middleware
There's
solution.
gotta be some parameters around that. And look, and it's weird because enterprise has Data Cloud in it, but not unlimited.
Well, and I thought it was like if you had Data Cloud or if you had Slack, then you also had Einstein, like or Copilot or whatnot. That's what I thought it was versus we're giving you Slack if you get this license. That makes sense.
You're paying for it.
So I just shared the link to this presentation. It's on LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jade. Yeah, let me hop to the stuff from AMA. So the developer AMA is, it's fun because it's almost always the same day as this meeting. They are the last Wednesday of every month. We are the 4th Wednesday of every month. This is the Salesforce developer AMA. So I always have a meeting on the same day for the AMA, and it's great because then I have cool stuff to share.
So they also had conversations about Thanos?
No, this is me searching for the Thanos did nothing wrong meme. So the couple of things that came up, it was platform event related to today. So they had the people from the platform team on there. Let me pull that off of there. Declarative AWS integration with Event Relay for pulling, I think when you're trying to dump things to cheap storage through AWS. So that's now a good transfer conduit. Platform events will be able to more effectively and declaratively, let's right click, send this record, send this form fill, send that out to AWS. You don't have to keep it on the Salesforce platform. PubSub API, I think I was distracted during this one and tried to grab this just so I could remember it. The managed subscription seemed, I think the key on this one, I've enjoyed telling people that, hey, platform events is Kafka. Kafka is a massive, it's like a SQL Server database. Everybody knows what a SQL Server database is. They know that it's tuned for storage and transactions and what have you. In the same way that a database is a major enterprise capability from a technology perspective, Kafka is a huge enterprise data capability for high scale. Facebook is built off of, hold on, I'm confusing NoSQL with Kafka. I think it was Uber that was the big push for a lot of subscribers. You push data out once, people are listening to the connection real time. Thousands of people can be reading, and it's a really fast pipeline to get data out. So they built Kafka into Salesforce. It's in the platform, but it's not in the platform. It's the hack that I used for my infinite flows thing, because it gets outside of transactions. So you can loop over a flow infinite times as long as you hop out to a transaction and hop back in. So platform event bus, super powerful. Salesforce is a cute set of applications for tracking contacts. MuleSoft, platform events, big objects are massive scale empowerments that make it an actual enterprise platform. So love platform events. But they have a lot of licensing limits around Kafka that make it, I want to get unlimited power of Kafka. I want to stream to 1 million people, and they've got a limit of like 120 reads per day or per message. So you could only have, Uber could only have 120 clients, people using the app for that. So you couldn't use it as enterprise Kafka. You couldn't actually harness the power of Kafka for your organization. You could only use it for inside of Salesforce. So Salesforce had limits that Kafka was able to exceed, but only when you're working within Salesforce limits. So you weren't really getting the best features. You weren't getting the full capability. They're starting to delete the limits around platform events. So you can use it at higher and higher scale. Which that's huge.
Is that black tab thing?
What's that?
Is that a black tab thing?
A black what?
Black tab? So when you said they're removing the limits, is that just like for GA, like everybody depending on what level? Or is it like someone you have to reach out to your AE and then they would set it in the black tab?
In the black tab.
You've never heard of black tab?
I have not ever heard of black
Black
tab.
tab is something that is available on org62, which is Salesforce's org, in which, so like let's say your governing limits allows you to only send out 1,000 emails. Okay. On black tab, you can increase it to 5,000, but you have to ask your AE.
Okay. I knew that you could get exceptions and those would be stored someplace. Never heard the label black tab. Thank you.
Well,
cool. So there are some things in black tab. Since Kafka is kind of its own platform, I don't know if it has the same black tab concept. There is another slide very much related to that there's some stuff on the table. This is what I heard was they are progressively lowering the limits on Kafka in general, taking away those limiters that they have there that keep you from using it. So they've gotten the platform matured. They've seen that it can handle the load that people are throwing at it, and they're starting to make it more and more powerful and care less about possible abuse or things it's slowing down. So it's a great trend that they're souping up and taking the leash off of platform events. Parallel processing, this was more about async and Apex. The replication service is Salesforce to Salesforce, except through CDC. And let me see if I've got the other slide on that difference. Okay, so here's the replication services. So with CDC, there's only a handful of objects that can participate in CDC. CDC is change data capture, where you can say, every time a record on the account object changes, I want you to stream it out to AWS. I want a listener to listen for it, and I want every piece of data. So a lot of people use that to send it out to another Salesforce org and synchronize the data there. Kafka traditionally did not support perfect data. The ability to send out at infinite levels meant a message might get lost here and there. If it's bank transaction data, you don't use Kafka for it because it could slip through the cracks, a delivery's not there, you have to replay. Kafka didn't guarantee 100% data integrity. Salesforce has built layers around that, and they can guarantee that. We had that fun conversation with one of the engineers and the guy that was giving a talk today, where I kept beating them up about what Kafka traditionally has. It's like, no, we fixed all that. It's perfect. So it was an amazing flex. I loved being wrong and being able to ask good questions. But so CDC, you can only talk to certain objects. You can only turn on change data capture for stuff like account, and they kept adding more and more. Today they said, yeah, it's only allowed for certain objects, but if you've got a request for an object that's not on the list, you can just call us and we'll add it. And black tag. What's that?
CDC is not available for custom objects, only for the standard objects.
I think it's custom objects too now. So I think custom objects turned on automatically, but like I said, large number of
talking about standard objects, all custom objects.
all custom objects, yeah. So everything's on the table. So that's a big expansion for CDC and replication services. How it fits in, whatever you're using CDC for, if it's a replication, this will probably be a better avenue. Right now, this is only to do replication services to data cloud. Currently limited, I asked them the question twice, they said it, and yeah, right now it's only data cloud. So I think this is a new feature that they're trying to enable to make you buy something else that they want you to enable. So they're trying to kit it together, but it'll probably eventually get off of that leash too. It's just a cool thing that they have that there. What's that?
Replication service. What is the latency? Is it like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or half?
It's near instant, but it depends on the usage of Kafka. How many people you have trying to read it at the same time. But that's what Kafka is really good. Everyone has that channel open, and it's just basically publishing an update to a web page, and everybody's waiting for that web page to finish loading. New piece of data goes on that web page that you're listening for the bottom of it to come out. Everybody gets it instantly. So it's usually, with anything going through platform events, very nearly instant. Now, how long that takes to get to Kafka is latency based on whatever system you're sending it into. And if it's going to data cloud, you're going through the data cloud security and exfil layers. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, just the Kafka piece, always super fast.
Yeah, because so prior to this coming, like Data Cloud said that for Salesforce to Data Cloud, it was like 1 hour, but for API, it was near real time 15 minutes like that.
Okay.
But this, I don't know how many.
So yeah, there's different expectations of things getting to data cloud. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where data cloud has to go out and fetch things from other places, and you use your tokens whenever you do the fetch. It's a consumption model, and so they kind of build in some standards for it only goes and checks every so often, but you can dial that up or down. But this one would be data cloud listening for an event coming from there, so it should be more instant and less consumptive. But I don't know how they do that. That's all licensing, trying to do consumption models on servers and so forth. So I think that's still going to be in flux. The consumption model on Salesforce resources and figuring out how to charge for that properly. I think they're going to give it away for free until they get people hooked on it, and then figure out how much they need to charge people to make the right amount of money on it once it's successful. So first one's free. Any other questions? Anybody online? Yep, gateway drug. In the chat. Hopefully everybody's been able to ask questions. Okay, everybody's enabled. Any other questions for me, Jade, or anybody else here? Lots of good stuff. Yes.
It's not like a question for this like meeting, but just for resources about PubSub, API, and Kafka, like what would be good resources to learn more about these and event relays?
So Kafka is open source. So you should be able to find that's the name of the open source project that built this technology. It's been included, what was it? The Elasticsearch, Logcache, and Kibana, which is not Kafka. There was a piece of Kafka in there, like logging events. A lot of tools around system logging are built around Kafka. Uber used it. You can buy it and spin it up on Heroku if you want to have your own system. So there should be a ton of information about Kafka out there. And that's the core of the platform event bus. So those capabilities are there. It's just whether or not they enable them or they charge you on this or that or the other, or have the limits in your license based on the number of licenses you have. But otherwise, there's a lot of good information out there about platform events and what you can do it on Trailhead. What was
We
the
do
other-
have a question in the chat, Paul.
Okay.
When will
When,
replication service be available as GA?
so they said that talking about replication servers, like some of this stuff this was the first time it had been dropped anywhere. So I don't know, I don't remember hearing a GA timeline. They said, hey, it was a special treat for everybody here. This is a piece of news that's not been announced anywhere before. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly which pieces of those. I was juggling 3 other meetings at the time. So I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for that. You might be able to look out, actually, you could probably replay it. Let me see if I can find the link to the LinkedIn and you can replay it.
I think you did post something on it, and it shows the live feed. So if people follow you on LinkedIn, I think you post.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I think thank you. I tagged the user group page in when I reposted it. So yeah, I can try and put it here too. But yeah, sorry, if I wish I could plug this into GPT and get a summary and have that question answered for you, but I'm not quite there yet. That's my repost of their post. But yeah, if you want to hear more, listen to what I listen to, which is probably the first information, except for the people blogging the stuff that they heard there. That would be where to go get it first. Cool. Well, unfortunately, I have a dog to catch and then a plane to catch. So I'm going to try and finish early. I'm sorry for not having food tonight. But thank you guys for coming. If we don't have any other questions, I'll go ahead and adjourn for the evening. Thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. Yes. Oh, yeah.
No, it's like you and I can talk like some other time.
Oh, okay.
Just ping if you're available.
Yeah. I'm on vacation for the next 4 days. So yeah, when I get done.
Not that.
And so not that, yeah.
Got it.
When I don't call you for 4 or 5 days, don't take it personally.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody,
Thanks,
for joining.
Thanks.
everyone. Thanks.
Send a beacon.